Look, we've been talking a lot, of course, about the election. I will remind you again, don't forget tonight's French language debate between the major leaders, not including the Green Party. They have lost their invitation that was rescinded by the committee. So you'll have the Bloc, you'll have the NDP, the Liberals, the Conservatives. That French debate begins at 6 o'clock. We will have coverage on CTV, on the news channel, also on YouTube. If you go to CTV, you can follow along there. There'll be simultaneous translation, of course, provided. That's tonight, starting at 6. And if you're really into it and you want to get it, as much as you can on the pregame show, not here, but on the national network, Vassy Kapelos will be hosting a show from 5 until 6, leading right up to the debate. Now, this all ties in, of course, to an election which is coming up April 28th. I got my card just the other day telling me where and when and how I can go vote. But we thought, so it doesn't come as a surprise, maybe we should fill you on exactly what has to happen here. So Florence Ryan is a regional media advisor for the Montreal area at Elections Canada, and she is on the line. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Sharon, to have me on the show.
So let's get to a couple of the issues here. First of all, I've already talked to a couple of people today saying they've already voted, so you've had that opportunity to do that. With respect to before April 28th, and I know there's early voting here, what do people need to know?
Yeah, so there's various ways people can vote. So finishing today was Vote on Campus, where people could go on various campuses throughout the city and vote by special ballot. So that's ending today. They can also go vote on Election Day. There's advance polling, which is happening from Friday till Monday during the Easter weekend. And if none of these options work for people, they can also request to vote by mail or vote at an Election Canada office. But they do have to submit their request by April 22nd.
And you would submit that request via mail or via email? How would you do that?
Yeah, so you would go on our website, election.ca, to submit that request, or go directly in person in an Election Canada office.
So with respect, and I wasn't aware about the campus situation, which you say ends today, do you have to be a student to be able to do that?
No, so this program was originally intended to remove access barriers for students that are super busy, obviously, and to bring the polling station directly to their campus. But any eligible voter can actually vote on campus as long as you bring pieces of ID that show where you live and who you are.
All right, so can you qualify what passes for ID? What would you need to bring with you regardless of when you vote?
Pieces of ID. So as I said, must prove who you are. So have your name and a picture and where you live. So just to make sure that you're voting for the right riding. So the easiest one is your driver's license because it has both. But there's a long list of approved ID available on our website. For example, your voter information card can qualify as an ID to prove where you live. So people have a long list that they can go check out. So just make sure to consult that list before you go vote so that you have your approved ID when you go vote.
Now, do you absolutely have to show your voter card that you received in the mail?
No. So I know this has been a concern for people that didn't receive their voter information card yet, but don't worry. You do not need to have it when you go vote. It can be used as a proof of ID, but again, if you have, for example, a utility bill with your address on it and your name, that's a proof of ID. So there's a lot of approved pieces of ID that you can bring.
So you can use it, but it's not mandatory, so that's good. If you don't have that card, can you still call and want to get one? Is that still doable?
So you can register online as a voter until April 22nd.
Okay.
So most of the voter information card has been mailed out. But if you haven't registered, you can always do it when you go vote. So that's not an issue.
Okay. Now, with respect to, because this is happening, the vote itself on a Monday, if people are waiting to vote then, what's the deal with how much time off you get to vote?
Yeah. So by law, you must have 3 consecutive hours to cast your vote. So if your working hours do not allow to have those 3 consecutive hours, your employer must give you time off. So this is a conversation you need to have with your employer.
All right. Well, let's say, for example, you work a 9 to 5 job and you want to go vote on Monday on the 28th. You go your lunch hour. Does that count? And you wouldn't have to be back until after 3:00. Is that how that works?
Yeah. So it's up to your employer to choose when they give you that 3 hours. So again, you must have that conversation with your employer to make sure that you have those 3 hours to go vote.
3 consecutive hours to allow you to go vote from your employer. Are you allowed to bring kids or other family members with you?
So for kids, you're welcome to bring your kids. We just want to make sure that the secrecy of the vote is kept. So make sure that if you bring your kids, that they are aware that they cannot share who you're voting for. So just something to keep in mind.
Oh, okay. In case they yell out who you're voting for when you're in the booth. Okay. So beyond that, we covered what you need to bring as ID. You don't necessarily need your voter registration card. If you have it, that's fine. 3 hours off, consecutive hours off from work is what you need to be provided with. Anything else that we didn't cover that we should mention or you should mention?
We just recommend voters to make a plan. So make sure that you choose the option that best suits your need. If you have time this weekend and you think you're off on Monday or Friday and you have an extra 10, 15 minutes to spare, go out and vote. It's a super easy process, and we do expect less waiting lines during the advanced polling days. So this is a great time to go vote.
All right. And last thing for people who want to get more information or didn't catch everything, if they just go onto the elections.ca website, it's all there.
Yes, exactly. Our website has loads of information on the process, the ways to vote, and the list of polling stations as well.
Okay. Thank you so much, Florence. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, Aaron. Okay. Have a good day.
You too. So there you go. Yes, you can vote early. As she said, if you wanted to squeeze it in today, on-campus voting, you do not need to be a student in order to do that. You could just go, and if you have all your information, go ahead and do that. But that ends today. Otherwise, advanced polling, which I said, I have my card here. Advanced polling, I think, begins Friday, right? Day after tomorrow. So yeah, if you have some time, like we're off Friday for the holiday, for Good Friday. So if you have some time off, not a bad time maybe to consider going. I imagine the turnout will be a little smaller than it will be on Election Day. And check it out. It does have that listed on your voter card. Advanced voting days, April 18, 19, 20, and 21. It'll tell you where to go vote and the time that those polls or at least the voting stations are open. And you can do that before the 28th.